Okay, everybody, it is time to talk about what we're getting in 11.0.7. And to start off, we are heading to the Siren Isles. That'll be the main area of our, story campaign, whatever have you, where we'll be spending that patch at. Thinking of it as the Forbidden Reach, just all over again. And except it'll have two phases. We'll get there, bright, sunny, fun, all, peaceful, doing all those things. Then it turns to stormy, which is harder. You don't get flight. So to be able to fly on the Siren, it's like a 6-week quest campaign. So just take your time, do the quest. Nothing crazy. But then when you flip that toggle to storm time, that's when you just stay ground bound and you just go ahead and you find something to take care of. In this patch, it will push along the Belladar crystal story. I'm hoping, because there is one very similar to it on that island. That's what's calling everybody there. That's kind of what those two goblins were talking about in Donegal. And we've kind of heard out throughout time of why we're going there and why we're going to be visited by a bunch of other groups that'll be there with us. Just a few of them. It'll just be the Naga, which, we've all heard about things coming back, and Queen Ajara, returning, which we can cross our fingers and hope for that, because I think she's going to come back a little bit more cosmic, a little more void-bound, but that'll be for another video. The Vykrul will be on there with us too. They want stuff as much as the goblins do, and the Naga. And really, guys, the biggest threat of them all, it's going to be us. The champions of Azeroth are going to be found on that island, and we're there to take everything that we need. And what's our biggest treasure we're going to get in there? Much like I said before, the Forbidden Reach, we have Circe's Circlet, which is a customizable ring. Much like that Onyx Amulet, it'll have 3 slots, 4 options that kind of help with stats, add you some bonus shields, heals, damage procs, and oh my, all those things. And hopefully it's a little bit more simpler than, the Onyx Amulet, because I remember Dragonflight, the idea was cool, seemed very complicated, and really made a difference on whether you were good or bad during that patch, because you had to strive for a certain combination of, gems or whatever it was that they put in there. I didn't really dive into it too much, because knowing that it was just a point patch, that we didn't have to spend too much time there. One of the coolest bonuses to this Circe's Circlet is that Blizzard's making it viewable on your character. So you'll be able to zoom in on your hand. I don't know if it's going to be left or right. Maybe you wear one ring on each side, but I don't know. We'll have to find out. But it's really cool that we're kind of, Blizzard's taking us into these new visual effects and kind of running it down of what they have the chance to do. Now, might be asking for a lot if you're doing a visible ring on a character's hand. Can we work on the clipping on some of the old and new stuff? And depending your character model you're on, if you have longer ears, they don't poke through, they poke through your beards, your longer snouts. Everything that you have in your characters are sometimes distorted by some of our new stuff that we get out of the Traders Post, and they do slowly fix them, I think. I play a pretty standard looking Kaltiran, so, but not soon to be standard, because in with this, you got your new ring looking blinged out on your hand. We're going to get slightly longer ears, not quite an elf, but a half elf. So humans and Kaltirans will be able to have that customizable option on their ear to make sure that you want to fit in and do that. And I might do it for a little bit. We don't know though. As you know, with every patch that Blizzard does, unfortunately or fortunately, depending how your treasure hunting abilities are, you get a new farmable currency. This is Flame Blessed Irons. So they're going to be used for transmogs, and yes, more transmogs. That's all I want to use mine for, because you're going to have definitely a bunch of cool things. You're going to get pirate themed, which I love, absolutely love. Cannot wait till we get that. Naga stuff's kind of, I'm interested in see what that'll be since they're returning. Maybe we'll get some weapons and some armors that are themed towards them, where it's, barnacle covered, star covered, netting, all those kind of cool things. We're going to get goblin related gear. I think with 11.1, we're going to the Undermine, so we got to go in there looking like goblins and getting all the fun things. If you missed out on any of the summer themed gear, which would be like the bikinis, the tops, the hats, the inner tubes, even the flying surfboard, you're in luck. It's all coming back, and you're going to be able to use that same currency. That, which I'm going to put a side note, not just for transmogs. There will be catch-up gear, but catch-up gear throughout the War Within has been pretty fantastic. Haven't really needed a reason to catch up, and I'm on my 4th alt, I believe. I know it's odd, but there's a ton of people that have more, but you can collect that gear and just send it over to your alts as you go. So my recommendation for this, farm that currency and you'll be good to go. When it comes to transmogs and catch-up gear and all that, we're always going to have the pets and mounts that we all want to snag up. And from what I see, it's going to be a neat little Stormcrow that we might have seen, you know, I think everybody's been saying about 8 to 10 years ago, kind of data mined in something, but looks fantastic. I'm pretty excited about that. There's not too many Crow Raven mounts out there. The only one I can think off the top of my head is the Rogue one from Legion. Then we're looking at more bees as mounts. You know, I love my bees. I ride that honeyback harvester like it's never going out of style. Work real hard, collect them honeys, and get that bee. So the more bees, the better, because I'm ready to a little change up, a little different color. Bring them all on. Bring the hive. Bring the hive. Oh, can't wait. One of the biggest and coolest things that's coming in this is a meta achievement called Farewell to Arms. It's a BFA meta quest, and if you do it all, which I know that they've changed it already and made it slightly easier, I'm hoping I did enough in BFA to get it, and I don't have to spend so much time and not get it, because I'll give up halfway through it. This is just what I do. But anyway, if you do that, you get a transformation mount. That's Johnny, the Loa of Loot Treasure, that kind of, you know, we met in, if you did the Alliance side of the combat campaign, whatever it's called, can't think of it off the top of my head, but you get that, you help him out, and you become that. And the coolest part about him is he gets to hold the weapons in which you have equipped. So really cool. One is little tiny little raptor-ish hands, because he's not quite a raptor. I'm not a, you know, dinosaur guy. So that's going to be pretty neat. I think another step in the right direction of kind of more customizable kind of, you know, uniqueness that we're going to look for in the future of Warcraft. We will get to progress the story of the Fate of the Kirin tour and that loss of Dalaran and how we're kind of coming out of that. Because you got to think, Dalaran's housed us for two expansions. We all have a Hearthstone to it. We loved it. Then we got to watch it fall out of the sky. Hearts broken. We were worried about Khadgar. We were worried about everybody that's in there. And I'm ready to wrap that up, see how we're going to recover from that, see if they can rebuild it, or we got to find a new town down the way that's going to house all these mages. I don't know what to do. And we will get the prologue of 11.1. So you'll get a little bit of taste of the Haranir that'll kind of lead us into the Undermine. But personally, I wanted a full story quest. I just want the Haranir to be a playable race. I just started making my druid the other night, and I really wanted to wait for the Haranir to be that druid. Fingers crossed that it will come in the future before the end of this expansion. Maybe if I'm not impatient enough, I'll wait and I'll give them to midnight, because maybe they'll come out of the ground and help us take on Xal'atath. The racial abilities among a handful of our races will be updated and adjusted to kind of be more, I don't want to say viable, because at the end of the day, none of them are going to beat Shadowmeld and Stoneform, because, you know, meta and meta. If you can't be one or the other, the only thing that can't be that is a Evoker. If you want, you know, want to do the AUG thing, you don't get those abilities. So hopefully this is going to be the start of something that they're going to keep rolling out and kind of adjusting, maybe, just maybe, reel back how good Shadowmeld can be, or even kind of trim what Stoneform can and can't do. I think, you know, it hurts me to say this because I play Dwarf for a lot of things, and I like them for their story and their aesthetic reason, but Stoneform is really good and does shake off a lot of things. And where, you know, like you look at a Kul Tiran, doesn't have anything. You got your big punch, which is an interrupt, but takes a cat. It's not Stoneform. But they're updating racial abilities. Let's hope they keep going with this. So with us traveling to the Siren Isles on December 17th, it just makes sense that within that month, we get Plunderstorm on January 14th. Now, I love Plunderstorm. I think it was cool. It wasn't the greatest at it by any means, but I did not collect enough of the plunder so I could buy the transmogs and get the neat pirate overcoat. Got the yellow one from the Trader's Post, but not the red one, which is, you know, it is cooler. Let's be real. They're going to fix a little bit of issues, I think, with that. Instead of like a progressive I want to say achievement for earning plunder or whatever. It's going to be a store, so you can pick and choose kind of what you want to buy and, you know, trick out your character the best way possible. So super thrilled about that, and we get another play mode just to tide us over for a little bit till the next big thing. You know, Winter's Veil will be rolling out in that time frame between Siren Isle and Plunderstorm. So hopefully things will change. Not much is known about what's going on out there, but you know that it did make it to the roadmap, so it's got to be a big thing. It's, you know, not just going to be the same quest on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. So more to come. We'll see what that's going to look like later down the road, which is probably a week or two, hopefully. We are going to get full group cross-faction queuing, which is really neat. I think it's a step in the right direction. We've kind of tore down those faction lines over the years, and starting back in BFA, and thanks to Sylvanas for kind of just blowing that up and breaking down the walls between the Horde and the Alliance. For the Alliance. Anyway, updated icons are on the way as well. Map and among other things. You know how they've been slowly changing with the anvil, the hammer, the pickup things. Look around, just pay attention. The changes are coming for that. I think it's just cool, and it's, you know, it's 20 years overdue. Why not do it? And guys, that's everything with 11.0.7 that we have to look forward to. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, take a look at my other video that kind of takes the detail of the 2025 roadmap and where we're going for the World of Warcraft and the War Within. I'll catch you next time. See ya.